Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to attempt to make this hanging skeleton. I found this pattern online and I'll put a link to where I found it below in the description. So I printed it off from my computer and I'm going to use this spray adhesive to attach this pattern to this wood. I forgot to show you guys when I was cutting out the pattern pieces here on my scroll saw. But I want you guys to be aware that I did it on wood, but you can use foam board, cardboard, whatever. You don't have to have a scroll saw to do this. It's just I happen to have the wood around and that's what I wanted to do it out of. So I cut it out, you can see on my scroll saw, but I forgot to make the drill hole so I could cut out the inside of the ribs and some of the other pieces above. So that's what I was doing there. Now I'm just kind of sanding some of the pieces, kind of checking things out before I go back to the scroll saw to cut out the inside pieces. I just like to get everything kind of smooth so that my grandbabies, who everything I make is for my grandbabies, don't get a splinter. So that's all that I'm doing here. When you're all done with this, I just want to let you guys know that this paper, if it doesn't just pull right off, you can use some mineral spirits or something, mineral oil, to just apply on there and it'll slide right off. It's not really a hassle. I'm just kind of scraping mine off instead of doing that. Of course, I meant to do this project back at Halloween time, but I just never got around to it. One of my grandbabies loves skeletons, and another one does not like them at all. So I was going to make this for one of them, but I just never found the time to do it. So I'm doing it now. Okay, now I'm back at the scroll saw and I'm going to cut out the interior pieces like the eyes, the nose, the inside of the ribs, and those places that I forgot. This is my scroll saw. It's a very old one. A friend gave it to me years ago. It doesn't have all the fancy things like a blower to keep sawdust out of your way and a vacuum. But I'm just going along slowly. The hard part is you have to take the blade out every time to go into an interior piece, unless you want to cut a little, just a little line to that opening. I guess you could actually do that. Actually, you know, I think you could do that and then fill it up with wood filler if you wanted to. So that's all I'm doing here is cutting on the head. Okay, here you can see I'm taking the pin out of the scroll saw so that I can get to another interior piece. You can release the pin on the top and the bottom. Some of you may not want to know that, but that's what's happening here. I'm just putting it in the nose hole, I think, and then I have to put it back into the scroll saw to cut it out. Okay, so I've got the body in here and I'm just doing the inside of the ribs, and then I'll do down the lower spine and his pelvis in there where there's areas that need to be cut out. It's just a little time consuming. It's a little bit of a pain if you take the blade in and out, because then you have to tighten it each time by tuning it. But it's a lot of fun. Okay, so I've got everything done, and I'm going to take the paper kind of off of here. You'll notice that the shoulder right there, it's broken. I don't know if my wood splintered or what, but I'll just make another little piece the right shape and glue that on there when I get to it. I also have a little area on one of the legs that did the same thing. So again here, just sanding, sanding, sanding. You never can do enough sanding. Okay, so you can see the little piece that I attached with wood glue to that one shoulder that was broken. I'm trying to use rubber bands, but I couldn't get them to slide through the slots that I made, and I just too lazy to go back to the scroll saw. So I'm just cutting my rubber bands and sticking them through the holes. And at first it worked all right, but what I found was cut rubber bands and then you tie them in a knot doesn't work real well. They don't stay tied very good. So really I would suggest probably the thinner rubber bands like you use for your hair. Those little tiny ones I think would work real well for this. These were really a little bit too big. So I'm just going through and putting all the bones together. One of the lower legs, the one sitting on the table there, it kind of had a little chip in the wood too, so I need to fix that by putting a little bit of wood filler on there. But right now I just want to really try this out and see how it's looking. So let me tie all these bones together. Okay, all done. Here he is. I definitely would recommend using smaller, not tied rubber bands. But he's pretty cute. I've got some touch-up work to do to him. And I want to try to make the other ones with the other heads that were in the pattern. But I think it turned out pretty good. I think my grandbabies were liking. Doodle 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 doo. Yep. Oh, look at that. His foot fell off.